Hi everyone, my name is Austin and I'm the founder of My Sparklight. I want to formally welcome everyone to this mentorship and coaching workshop. Okay, so let me just push myself up a bit and just go full screen. Okay, now just do full screen. And there you go. Okay, so thank you so much. Thank you everyone for those who registered for the mentorship and coaching workshop. And I know from some of you that registered that work as employees, some as freelancers, some as lecturers, and all kinds of profession. So in this workshop, we're going to be atomizing what does it require to undergo mentorship, or what does it mean to be the mentor or to be the mentee, either for business development and career advancement, because my Sparklight is a mentorship platform for career and business advancements. So which means that if you are into business, you can mentor other SME, small business, local business, and nurture them, train them, coach them, guide them, counsel them, and help them become someone better in life. Then if they are into career, if they are job seekers, if they are already employees and they want to move up the ladder, and you can set up a group for people of similar minds and similar interest and passion, and set up a forum and build a community for yourself, and be a social impact agent on the platform. All right, so let me jump right straight into the workshop. So this workshop is dedicated or created for those who registered for the My Sparklight Mentorship Coaching Workshop. So in this particular video, we are going to be, like I said, iterating everything that there is to it about mentorship and coaching. So let's get started. All right, so first of all, what is career growth? Now, a lot of people will say career growth and advancement, or some will say career growth is career advancement and career advancement is career growth. So let's break both down. What is a career? A career is a professional journey you have to undertake, either in terms of as an employee, as a business owner, or as an employer. So if you look at, for example, now if you see some person, they say, oh, I started 3 startups, and the 3 startups, 2 have been acquired, 1 got to IPO stage, and I'm looking at starting another startup. Now, those people, when they give that kind of profile, that automatically is a career. Or you hear serial entrepreneur, that okay, I set up different businesses and sell and move to the next, and then look for the next big thing, create, move, and move to the next. So when you see that trend, those persons you can say that what they are into is a career, because it's a professional life, or is a professional journey for them in terms of work, or in terms of building how will I put it, building a business or building businesses, if you might put it like that. So that's just it about that. But some other persons might disagree and say a career is just strictly about job. It's about the job seekers, it's about the employees, it's about moving up the ladder, moving up the chain, moving up the position chain. So which means if you come in, maybe you come in as a junior person, maybe as a junior developer, for example, and then you go from junior to intermediate, from intermediate you move to maybe senior, then from senior you move to CTO, you understand, depending on the organizational structure and how things play off. So that progressive growth from entry level to CTO level is what some people call career growth, or what you can call career growth and advancement. So the question now you might ask, what is the link between career growth and mentorship? How does mentorship link to career growth in the first place? So if you look at everything that you've ever accomplished in life, is someone's linked to somebody's advice. Somebody advised you somewhere to make that decision that you took. It could be maybe in terms of, let's say for example, you're in church, you go to church, Now, your pastor or your church worker or church member who have given you an advice about something that struck you, and you probably didn't think it in that direction or from that angle, and you followed the advice and it worked. So the same thing applies to business. So you go on YouTube, you're starting a business, you're struggling with something in business, and you don't seem to get it right, or it's not just clicking the way you expect it to. So what you do is you go on different social media platforms seeking solution, or go on different spaces or communities looking for people who have been through what you've been through. You search for them, you find it, they inform you of what you need to do, you get it done, and you move forward. So if you look at that pattern from the point of where you experience the problem to the point where you go searching for the solution to the problem online, to when you find the solution and when you implement the solution, everything is some form of mentorship. Mentorship just kicks in one way or the other. If you look at it, it might, so we now have different kinds of mentorship. We have the formal and informal mentorship. So in that case, you can call it an informal mentorship, but in reality, you're undergoing some form of mentorship. So now, how can a coach help grow a job seeker or employee career? So it's simple. So say for example, you are starting a virtual let's say virtual sales rep kind of job. You understand? So what you now do is you reach out to people. Maybe you are changing career from sales and marketing, and you're going into virtual sales assistant or virtual customer care representative assistant, or you are doing those kind of thing. So usually there are expectations and experience and knowledge that you're expected to have and know. So which means that you will now have to undergo training, guidance, counseling, and mentorship from somebody who had probably done it, been there, conquered it, are all probably doing very well. And then you want to know the ropes of how they did it, so you can just replicate the same thing, and you can go out there and get a job and apply what you've learned from that person. So that is how a coach come in. So a coach now steps in to say, okay, this is what you want to achieve, which is your goal. This is where you are, which is your reality, and then they help you through from where you are to where you want to be, which is your goal. And that is how coaches come in to help people grow as a job seeker or as an employee. Other alternatives to job seeker is you want to get your dream job, and your dream job requires you to have some certain level of experience, or certain level of knowledge, or certain level of exposure. Now, a mentorship and a coaching from someone who had been there or who is currently working in that industry or in that company that you want to go to is can be the big difference between struggling persistently and not getting in, and just getting in just like that. So when you're able to prove yourself, that person can, when maybe an employment opportunity opens up in their company, they can bring you in and say, hey, I'm recommending this guy to come work for us. He's good, and I believe in his credibility or his competence or his capacity to deliver, and they invite you for an interview. Ordinarily, that might not even have been possible in the first place, but here it is possible because somebody made it happen. So that's where the coach comes in. So now the question one might now be asking, what value will a coach or a career student get out of this relationship? So the coach who is coaching the student and the student who is undergoing the coaching, what is the value? Now that is what we are going to be talking about in this workshop. We're going to be talking about how this is going to be of value to you, even as a coach or as a mentee. So there's an old saying that goes, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go further, go with someone. Because why? The farthest people that do the most are people who work together with others. People who struggle to get things done are people who work alone. And when you work alone, you will struggle, even though you might be very good in all the things you are working on, but you need people to make some things lighter. So that's it. All right, so how do you get started as a coach or as a mentor? You've never been a mentor before. You don't even know what it requires to be a mentor or to be a coach. Well, how do you even get started? You have experience. You have 5 years experience. You have 10 years experience. You have 15 years experience, 20 years experience in a particular field and aspect, and you feel like, why? I have always had passion, and I've always had this hunger to teach people, to train people. So how do I make this happen? So this is how you get it happen. You get started on a forum. You sign up on a forum, and there is no better forum that is geared to help people in area of mentorship than My Sparklight. So say for example you get started on My Sparklight, for example, and once you get started, you get signed up on the platform, you go to the next part, which is you create a forum. Now when you create the forum, the idea of creating the forum is to serve a particular niche and to achieve a particular outcome. The forum is not just there as decoration or just to create another WhatsApp group where you have a lot of human beings just there. No, that's not the idea. The idea is to serve value to your members, to your mentees, to your mentors, and to whoever it is that's going to be a member of that forum. That is the central idea. Now, after you've signed up and you've created your forum, you invite your mentors and mentees, or both, depending on the purpose or the basis of the forum. So this is just high level. Just to give you high level, we're going to break this down into smaller bits so that you can understand how each of them is going to play off. So let me move myself up a bit so I don't disturb the... Alright. So if you look at this now, career growth and insight. So when we talk about career growth and insight, we're not just talking about just mentorship. We're also talking about coaching. As I said, it's just a wide variety of people. You understand? Depending, regardless of your industry or your niche. You understand? So let's move to the next slide. So this is for coaches and mentors. So let me bring myself down so I don't disturb the... Yeah. Okay, so a coach is someone who gives you helpful feedback to help you achieve your goals and guides you through your struggles so that you can become a better version of yourself. So this is a quote I came up with. So why is this important? Now, we have lots of coaches, but we do not have a lot of impactful coaches. So it is one thing to be a coach, it's another thing to be a life coach, and it's another thing to be an impactful one. And so we are looking at impactful coaches who can contribute and help their students or help their mentees to improve in themselves. And so we have different kinds of feedback. We have constructive criticism and destructive criticism, depending on which one the coach uses. So some coach use destructive criticism, which means that they condemn, they just outrightly just attack and bring you down when you do something wrong or when you make a mistake. Now, our advice, if you have such coach, our advice, you leave such coach and look for another coach, because the truth is that it will always make you second guess yourself. It's going to make you look down on yourself, and at the long run, it's not going to be healthy or helpful to you. It's better you find a coach who gives you helpful feedback to tell you where you are missing it and what you need to do differently to achieve your goals and get to the feats that you wish to attain and get so. So let's move to the next slide. So let me move myself. I'm moving myself a lot. Let me move myself up here. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay, so some persons might be asking, so what then is the difference between a mentor, a coach, and a consultant? So there is a difference between an advisory person. There's a difference between all four of them. I will explain. Now the difference is this. For a mentor is somebody who offers advice, counsel, and nurtures you by virtue of what you are doing right or what you are doing wrong, or how do you need to change or improve or address or to re-strategize what it is you are doing, and tells you how best to go about it to get the job done. That's a coach. Now that's a mentor. Now you can read the definition that I kept here about what it is that makes a mentor. So if you look at it here, it says involves an experienced individual providing guidance and advice to less experienced person. So which is typically what I've explained. Now coming down to coaching. A coach, on the other hand, is different. Now what makes a coach different from a mentor? It's simple. A mentor advises you and tells you and shows you the way to follow. It is your obligation to follow that path. A coach, on the other hand, will show you the way and lead you by the hand and take you through that way to help you get to your final destination faster, which is your goal, which is your career goal, your business goal, your business objective, what you want to achieve in life, what you want to make out of your life, what you want to do, how you want to do what you want to do. A coach is going to hold you by the hands and show you the ropes. So you can see, for example, a good example of coaches are people that will say, I offer my students template, or say step-by-step template. So all they have to do is just implement the step by step, exactly the way I have shown them. So what the student just does is just replicate it step by step, exactly the way he has shown them, and they get the same result the coach is getting. So that is just it about it. Now, on a consultant level, that is different. Now, what makes a consultant different from, because some persons mistake mentors, coach, consultants, and advisors as the same thing, but in reality, they are not. Now, a consultant, what makes a consultant different from a mentor and a coach? A consultant, on the other hand, their primary style of mentoring is payment. So they are strictly, it's all about the money. You understand? It's all about how much are you going to pay for my services for me to deliver or help you get to where you want to get to. That's a consultant. A consultant is majorly interested in the cash. You understand? Pay me my money and I help you get to where you want to get to. If you don't follow it, it's your problem. My point, the most important thing is I've shown you what you need to do and how you need to get there. If you don't get there, that's your problem, not mine. So a consultant, on the other hand, is a paid expert who shows you the way, or who tells you the way to follow to get to your desired goal. That is a consultant. So which means that a consultant, you have to pay the consultant for his time. And then we have two kinds of consultants. We have performance consultants and non-performance consultants. So performance consultants are consultants who are majorly saying that you only pay me when I get you to a desired milestone or a desired destination. While a non-performance consultant, you are paying me for the ideas, for the structure, for the design, for the things I'm offering, the ideas, my recommendations, my market research, things I'm bringing to the table. That's what you're paying for. You understand? So that is what a consultant typically is. So you can see the difference between a consultant and a mentor on this case. Now, an advisor, on the other hand, let me give you a typical example of how an advisor plays in. Just I don't want to start reading the definition, so I just want to make it as simple as possible, because you can always read it just by looking at it. An advisor is like someone sitting on the board of director. That's like an advisor. An advisor is not necessarily a mentor. He's not necessarily a coach, and he's not necessarily a consultant. He's just an advisor, advising you on how you can improve. So advisory usually goes two ways. Is either you pay them for their time, like an employee, like the way you pay an employee, but this time around they are paying professional employee fees, like more like a retainership kind of transaction. Or it's you're not paying them for you're paying them as consultants. So they're advisors, but they are functioning as consultants. So you can see the difference. There are some people who are consultants and are functioning as advisors, and there are people who are advisors and are functioning as consultants, and there are people who are mentors are functioning as consultants and advisors, but they are primarily mentors. So it depends on the use case, the situation, and the different things as it applies. But in different contexts, it's used differently. Now, another use case of advisors are maybe, for example, you run a company and you want to advise Coca-Cola or Pepsi or MTN or Airtel or Orange or any of these big, or Stripe or PayPal or any of these big, eBay, Microsoft, Google. You want to advise them. Now, when you're going to advise them, you're not advising them as an individual. You are advising them as a company. So it's a company to another company. So when you're going to those companies, they will accept you on the basis of the fact that you are coming as a company. And so they will pay you like a company and not as an individual. So when that happens, you are not playing the role of an advisory role, because you are using your company as the medium to interact with another company, with the management of the other company, to offer solution to their problems, or to offer results or to offer them a particular outcome that they feel like you have the expertise to get that done. So you see that that is different from the other use cases that I've explained, where advisory and consultants are more like you can also be from individual to individuals and from individuals to brands, or brands to brands. But mentors and coaches are majorly and most of the times individual to individuals. There are very few times you see that play off in organizational status, but that is just the way they play off. So now, moving on to how do you start a coaching and a mentorship program. So you are someone who has 10 years experience, 15 years experience, 20 years experience in mentorship and coaching, or maybe you have experience in advisory, or maybe you have experience in consultancy, or maybe you have experience in your job. Maybe you've been working in your job for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and you're the kind of person that gets excited when you see that people lives are changed because via your advice, via your counsel, via your tutelage, via your under your watch. You see that they are improving, they are progressing, and you are happy, you are excited. It makes you excited that somebody else is doing something big with their life because of you, because you made that possible. You helped them to get to that destination. If you're that kind of person, then you need to start a mentorship and coaching program. So how is this coaching program going to work? Now, in this mentorship and coaching program, all you just need is yourself and students who want to learn from you and who want to learn the ropes on how they can improve themselves and make themselves better. So how do you start? You already have a specialty, you already have skills, you already have expertise. So how do you even convert this expertise to cash? How do you monetize your expertise? So you can either start by identifying a niche. So to identify a niche, you must first of all understand what are you first do a SWOT analysis, which is the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Now, the strength in the sense that what are your strengths? What are the things you are good at? How can you use what you are good at to teach people? What are your weaknesses? And how can you what can you do to mitigate or allow your weaknesses not to show so much while interacting with your mentees? What are the opportunities available in that niche? So if you decide to identify going into a niche, what opportunities are you going to get in that niche? Now, if you decide to leverage on those opportunities, what threat will counter those opportunities and make them look insignificant? Or will reduce the productivity or reduce the results that you might achieve or attain or obtain from those opportunities, or that might affect your strength, either positively or negatively. So these are the things that you might put into consideration. Now, once you've successfully put all of these factors into consideration, then you would now go into the target audience. Now, one of the easiest way to discover what niche works or what niche is trending, you can use Google Trend. Just go on Google Trend and check what is trending, what niche is trending, and that will give you an insight as to which niche to go into, especially when it is within your target area or within your scope of expertise. Now, once you've identified this, then the next thing is to decide who are your target audience. So we're still talking about this now. So who are your target audience? What is the brand persona of the human beings that you're going to talk to? So now, since you're now trying to understand your brand persona, so then the next part will not be who are they, where do they live? Do they live in Africa, or do they live in Nigeria, or do they live in Europe, or do they live in North America, South America, Canada, US? Where do they live? So that will not influence your brand messaging, the creatives you're going to design, how you're going to design it, and how you're going to reach out to them. Once you have done setting up all this, then you start reaching out to your target audience. Now, coming down to develop your program. So now you've identified your niche. Now is to develop your program. Now, the next thing is to define what is the outcome. What outcome do you want to achieve for your students? Your students, what are they going to get out of your mentorship program? What are they going to benefit? How is this going to benefit their lives? So you will not estimate on the forum. When you come on my Sparklight and create a forum, you will now check, okay, this is what my mentees are going to get from my mentorship forum on my Sparklight. Then once you've created the forum, you put the description of what it's about and what students are going to get out of it. Then you come down to pricing. So if you are the kind of mentor that believes that it starts with money, continues with money, grows with money, and finishes with money, so which means that the only reason why you would do anything is if you are being paid or if you are getting some kind of cash out of it. So if you ain't getting cash out of it, it's like a waste of time for you. So if you're that kind of person, then you can set a pricing for yourself. But now when you're setting the pricing, your pricing should be based on your target audience, and it should be based on your market demography. It should be based on the target audience you are drafting for. Say for example, you are doing say a mentorship program for job seekers who are probably looking for a cleaning job. You cannot tell them to come and pay you $200 for your mentorship program. You're wasting your time. They're not going to give you a dime, because how are you expecting somebody who is a job seeker looking for a job, looking for means of survival, and you're asking them to come and pay you $150 or $200 or $90 or $100 for your mentorship program? You are just wasting your time, because nobody's going to join, because people are going to look at you and say, where the hell are you expecting me to get $100 from? So by so doing, you are not going to make your mentorship program is not going to fly, no matter how quality based it is, because your target audience are not the kind of people that will be willing to cover such an amount of money on a monthly basis, not to talk of a yearly basis, for them to learn about cleaning program, unless you are talking about an organization, say a company who is into cleaning, and like home cleaning or domestic cleaning or cleaning for homes or cleaning for companies or cleaning for multinationals. So that's a different kettle of fish. Now when you are reasoning with them, if you tell them $100, because they are servicing multinationals, they can afford it, compared to individuals who are probably looking for how to survive for the next day. You are just wasting your time. So your pricing is very, very key. Who you are targeting is very, very key. Alternatively, you can probably draft another method of assessing payments, and we'll talk about that in the course of this workshop. Now the next one is build your audience. Now after you've decided how much you want to charge, do you want to bring the students in first and then charge after, or do you want to tell them to pay upfront off the gate before they even come into the mentorship program? You're already asking them how much, you're already showcasing how much you're going to pay on your mentorship program. But if that is not the case, you can ask them to come in first, experience the value you're offering, and then tell them to pay afterwards. It all comes down to your target audience and your marketing strategy. Now coming down to building your audience. So now you've built your program, you've set up the forum, you've indicated the outcomes that people are going to benefit from your program. So the next question, growing your audience. So what do? You post on social media, email marketing, and other channels to promote your program and reach your target audience. You can even go offline. Churches, different places, bars, it doesn't matter where it is. Just reach out to people that you know that are your target audience and get them to sign up, and then tell them the benefit and value that they're going to get from your mentorship program. And then you show them the outcomes of their participation and interaction in your program. Once you've done that, then you get them onboarded. When the onboarding part is where you now start. So now they've onboarded. So what next? You deliver on your program. So now you've gotten your mentees onto your mentorship program. Now the next thing is to deliver what you've promised. Now the truth of the matter is, if people are mostly interested in how far and how genuine you are, how sincere you are about their lives, if you show real interest in people's lives and how much their lives matter to you, they will take you more seriously, and they will be willing to stay with you to the long haul, because they believe that you have their best interest at heart. But if you make it look like you are a hard stone, bricked, metal created and metal crafted with some blacksmith nailing kind of person, and you don't give a shit about how they feel or how, like, their feelings, or getting them to their goals, you are just majorly interested about the money, is going to show. And once it shows, it's just a matter of time before they start leaving your mentorship program one after the other, because they will feel like you are just a waste of time and you are a waste of investments. Because to be honest with you, people make purchases based on relationship and investment, not necessarily based on logic. It is how well you're able to appeal to their emotions that will make them buy. And that's where some marketers use some cognitive biases. Some other people will call it marketing strategy, depending on which industry or which field you are, that will define how you perceive or how it is being communicated to you. So let's go to the next part. So now the next question, how do you manage your coaching and mentorship program? So you started the program, you've created a forum on my Sparklight platform, you've reached out to your target audience. So how do you manage it? So first step, we are going to use an acronym by MTD Training in the United States that gave an acronym called GROW. So that acronym is what you're going to use to manage your coaching and mentorship program on the My Sparklight space. And what is that? The G stands for GO. It is very imperative that you use the SMART acronym, which is S standing for specific, M measurable, A achievable, R realistic, T time bound. So which means that you are going to use this acronym in helping your mentees and your students achieve their goals. Now, if you can't get this, make this possible, then it is just a matter of time before, like I said, they'll start feeling like you're a waste of investment, and you don't want to be in that kind of boat where you are being perceived in that from that light. The next one is reality. Now, don't forget, you have goals you want to help your mentees or your students achieve. Do not forget that those mentees have peculiar situations or peculiar realities that is withholding them from moving forward or from achieving their goals. You need to identify those realities, and that reality could be circumstantial based, it could be psychological, it could be non-psychological, or it could even be, so like I said, either could be psychological, non-psychological, or it could be societal, or it could be self-inflicted. So you need to first understand the reality of the person or the dilemma that the person is in. So that will give you an insight on how you can best help them conquer their reality so that they can get them closer to their goal. So the next is options. So now you've identified the goal. You've used the SMART acronym in the word goal. Now you've come to understand their reality. So what options are available to your mentees or to your students to help them conquer those realities? How do you help them break away from the current and harsh reality that they have forced to live with or go through all by themselves with no help, no guidance, no counseling, nothing whatsoever? So you need to first of all understand what are the options available to that mentee. Are they direct or indirect options? What options do the mentee need to take to follow the goal? At this point, you are not necessarily looking at what option is best. You are just brainstorming on variety of options. First of all, your objective is to brainstorm on what are the options available. So which means you are not picking any option in specific. You are just checking at random. You're just brainstorming idea, whether the good, the bad, the ugly. Just brainstorm the whole thing, put it in a list, and then once you have the options, then you move to the last part of the GROW acronym, which is way forward. Now you've drafted all the options. Now the next part will now be, what is the most feasible option to help that mentee achieve and conquer their reality, which is to get them closer to their goal. Now the way forward will now be, what is the most feasible option and what action or inaction, what steps, what template, what is needed to help that mentee or to help that student that is your coachee to get to their achieved and desired goal. Now once you've been able to identify and know this, you can now on a relationship level help that mentee move closer to their goal by identifying the way forward for that mentee or coachee or student, as the case may be. Alright, so now we come down to the next part. You've set up a forum on the My Sparklight platform. You've started something big and beautiful. You've reached out to your mentee. Okay, you are using the GROW acronym. So what next? How do I monetize it? How do I even make some cash out of it? Because at the end of the day, what keeps you going? What keeps you motivated? What keeps you gingered? What keeps you fired up? What keeps you, moving and, excited, enthusiastic? What makes you wake up in the morning and look forward to talking to your mentees to see how far they are doing is monetization, because you are getting some form of monetary benefit from them. So, what are the strategies as a coach, as a mentor? What do you need to do differently to help your students, to help your coachee achieve that goal? So first one is set a clear pricing strategy. Now, when they say pricing strategy, I'm not saying that you should go and say, oh yeah, I need to charge my student $50. So they are going to pay $50 for my mentorship services. You're getting it wrong. It is not the money that is the goal. It is the idea behind the money. That is the goal. That's what makes it a strategy, and not necessarily the money itself. So how does that play up? So now it's simple. We don't forget that we've talked about pricing earlier in our previous slides. Now we're coming down to bringing money back again. Now, how do you get started? You don't need to have a domain name or have a website to probably make some money off mentorship. All you have to do is use technology tools. We have Wix platforms, we have Google sites, we have there's this Squarespace or something. There are different platforms free website hosting platforms that allows you to host your site or create a web page on their page for free without necessarily paying anything. And then you copy the link and share it with your students, and so that you can use that to get them to see the pricing benefits that your mentorship program has to offer them. Alternatively, if you are not that tech savvy and you feel like, oh my god, that's too much work, I don't have the time, I don't have the space, I'm so busy to create a Wix page or start doing all that sengemenge, or if even using a WordPress website, if that's the case, I don't have money to pay anybody, I don't even have money to do the domain, let alone the hosting. It's very simple. You don't have to. Just create a payment link via payment processors. What do I mean? You have PayPal if you are international. We have Stripe if you are in the European space. You have Paystack or Flutterwave if you are in Nigeria. Every platform has their names. We have even in Kenya, in any platform, any country you are in, there is some form of payment processor. Even in Canada, they have payment processors that you can use to process payments in your country. All you have to do is find out which payment processor is active and working in your country. So what do? You set up an account with the payment processor. Once you set up the account, majorly, let me just put a disclaimer now, most of these platforms require you to have a business. So you need a business to do it. But there is also a personal part. You can set up a personal account, but there is cash limitations. You cannot go beyond a certain threshold. So you need to research and find out what is the cash threshold, and if it is within your limits in terms of if it's something that works for you, then you stick with it. So what do? Once you set up your payment pricing, what you now do is you put the link of your My Sparklight forum that you've created, and also identify the outcomes that those students are going to get. Put the link in the payment processor and share the payment link with your students. So when the student make payments, they will automatically be redirected to the My Sparklight forum. And then they come on the forum, and then you start teaching them and guiding them and helping them and nurturing them and coaching them and building them to become better leaders, better champions in their field. So now you've identified that there might be some people, like we have a lot of doubting Thomases, who would feel and question your credibility and feel like, how are they sure you would keep up to their own part of the bargain? Some, it might not even be based on credibility, it might be the fact that they feel your money is too high and they need some form of discount. Some people will never buy until you offer them some form of coupon code. So what do? Most of these payment processors have coupon code, so you can generate a coupon code and tell them, hey, for early birds, if you pay on time, you get 10% discount on your coupon on your next purchases or on this current purchase, whichever. You just offer some form of bonus to that student, and it just to incentivize them to probably work with you. But some other people would want some form of sales page. They want to see something that makes them feel like you connect with them or you are addressing their problem or their pain point. So you can create a sales page. We've talked about that earlier. You can create a sales page on web pages. You can even create a sales page with, there are different page building sites these days that you can use. No coding sites you can use. You just look for one of them that works for you and set it up. But if that doesn't work, you don't necessarily need to now do the sales page. If you are, for example, reaching your audience on maybe WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, or all of those platforms. So all you have to do is just craft a good content, good problem solution content that explains the value your forum is offering and why your forum is important and why users should join your forum. So once you've been able to craft this problem and your target audience can identify and relate with what you are doing, voila, they will start joining automatically. And if they don't join, they would most likely have, so you can probably do a resales targeting and other stuff, but that's for a different lecture. This is just to give a rough highlight. So the next part is promotion. Now you've created the sales page. You are promoting your program on social media. You're promoting it via email marketing. You're promoting it via different content. Users are joining. Users are coming. They are signing up. They are joining your forum to, enjoy these benefits that you're offering. So the next question, how do you sustain it? Keep delivering high content. There is nothing high valued content. There's nothing that keeps people on your mentorship forum or on your mentorship platform or your mentorship space than the content you offer them. So offer them valuable content. Offer them content that matters. Content that they will look at and they will feel like, wow, I'm in the right space. Like I cannot be anywhere else but here. That is what counts. Offer them, real value, and once you show real value, they would naturally stick and stay with you. Now, once they've stayed with you and you have them and they're seeing the value, then you can now pop up the money part to say, okay, guys, for joining this forum, I offer ABCD free of charge for my mentees. However, if you want DEF, XYZ services, you have to pay a certain amount of money, which you would have probably checked, and it is something that your mentees can afford to pay, because you do not charge what mentees cannot afford to pay. If you do that, you are going to lose people. In fact, as a matter of fact, unless the person you are targeting so some people, even if it's expensive, some people will still pay, so long as you are addressing their problem, so long as what you are, the solution you are offering touches or fixes their problem, they will pay a lot of money. Even if you decide to charge $5,000 for it, they will pay. It doesn't matter how, the money is not the problem. So that's why, like I said, it all comes down to your TA. Your target audience influences which approach to use. But when you adopt all of this method, you are guaranteed to definitely make or gather students with all certainty and surety. Alright, so now you might be asking, why is this important? Why should you consider this? Why should you even take coaching seriously? What is the value? Why should it be a thing of thought? So if you look at some of the things we have here, if you look at this, you can see that, for example, Pricewaterhouse, one of the biggest consulting firms, said that executive coaching, the return on investment for executive coaching can go over to 500%, both for the coachee and for the coach. The same thing, look at American Management Association. They said 53%, there was a 53% increase in productivity and 48% increase in organizational strength for those who leverage on coaching and mentorship. This is just to tell you the value and results you can get out of it. Like, just to give you an insight. The same thing here. Even in the International Coaching Federation said that the return on investment on coaches is 7 times the investment. So imagine getting 7 times the amount of money you initially used to get started with. It's crazy. It's really crazy. But it's just to give you an insight, to show you the value and what you can get out of this. So, what's the timeline to getting started? Day 1, you set up your forum, prepare your program, your curriculum, your structure, your outcomes, the value, the goals, what's the offer, and what your students are going to get out of this. Your day 2, you market. You go online, you market on social media, you market on other platforms, you showcase the value that your forum is offering, your mentorship program is offering. You show the value that students are going to get out of it, and you start onboarding your students. Then onboarding. Now, after they've landed on your program, the next thing is to nurture them, to keep them engaged, to set up activities that keeps them going, keep them running, keep them actively involved in what it is you are doing. Make them feel like they are family. There's nothing that bond people to you than when you make them feel like they are part of a family. You understand? And you are the family head that is responsible for their growth and development. It's very, very important. I can't emphasize this enough. It makes you, it positions you as somebody that people can trust and people can come to when they need to. Then the next part is word of mouth. Get your mentees to tell their friends, tell people who are like them to come join your mentorship program. That's the fastest way to grow. Get in front of their audiences, get in front of their contacts and network. You don't have to literally beg them to do it. Just position yourself, and when they see the value, encourage them to do it, and they will do it naturally, even without force, fight, kick, and any other thing, or stylish trick, or all those kind of other things. Although some other people use incentives to encourage them, but it's up to you to decide which route works best for you. So now, coming down to the mentees. So there's a quote, and I'll say, coaching is unlocking a person's potential to maximize their own performance. It is helping them to learn rather than teaching them, by Timothy Galway. So, as I said, it's up to you. So you're a student, you're a coach, you're a coachee, you're a mentee. You've not found a mentor yet, but you need to do something. You are somebody that you are excited, you are enthusiastic, you are a fan of big things, or you've achieved some certain things in your life, but you're not yet a coach. You don't have the 10 years experience, the 15 years experience, the 8 years experience. So what next? What do you do? Does it mean that there is no space for you? Of course there's a space for you. You can create mentees forum, or you can create a mentees space or a mentees community. People that are like you in the same space, who are looking for breakthrough, who are looking to to make a difference in their life. All you just need to do, first of all, understand their goals and aspirations. So these are the strategies let's look at this. This is the first one. Understand their goals and aspirations. Once you understand the goals and aspirations of the people that you are looking at, you can start reaching out to them. Then the next one, identify their strengths and areas for improvement. Once you identify it, you can say, hey guys, I have this forum, or I have this community where people who are interested in this can come, and then we can discuss strategies on how we can grow ourselves, how we can improve, how we can get better, how we can advance, how we can change the narrative of how we are being perceived. You understand? So you can come up with a forum and a community and invite people of like minds like you on anywhere. It could be on email, it could be on WhatsApp, it could be on anywhere. Just invite them and just start a collaborative session so that everyone can rub minds together and share contact and share information. Then the next one is develop a career plan. So if you are the leader of that forum or that community, you can develop a plan on how you can help your friends. So which means that what you then do is that you can subscribe to newsletters, or subscribe to forums, or subscribe to different information platform, so that when they post jobs or when they post things, you can share it with your friends, with your colleague on your forum to say, hey guys, there's the latest job this, there's the latest job that, or there's the latest news or the latest trend that's going on in this. Guys, check it out. Now you can probably be the saver or the lifesaver that can make the difference between somebody still staying at home waiting for a job and somebody being gainfully employed via your helpful, valuable resource sharing. So, which now brings us down to this part. Provide ongoing support and feedback. So, now you're a mentee, not a mentor now. So, which means that you are not yet the expert, but you can at least direct them, or you can direct people of similar minds or similar interests like you to see things that they wouldn't have originally seen by themselves. Especially if you are the kind of person that has connect, or you have contact, or you have people in different spaces that are in need for different roles, and then when you have jobs, some of your fellow mentees like you, or coachee like you, who are struggling for one or two things, or maybe you're able to get a job, and then there's a vacancy in another company, and you know that your fellow mentees on your community on the My Sparklight have similar interests. All you have to do is share that information, that's good news with them, and one of your mentees might apply for it and get the job, making life for them a whole lot easier. Then this one, foster a growth mindset. So when everybody is key on growth and everybody's working towards getting better, and at some point it becomes like a family. Everyone feels like they're connected. Everyone starts looking out for each other. It no longer feels like a community anymore. It now feels like a family group where you have your family members existing, and you can make friends and even build relationships that can last a lifetime. They say Rome is not built in a day. It takes time to build anything worth growing takes time to build and develop. So now the next question: coaching or mentorship, which should you start? So we've started this program, we've started this workshop, and we've talked out a lot about mentorship and coaching, the difference, and how you can monetize. We've talked a lot about that. Now we're not coming down to coaching or mentorship. Which should you start? Which should you go for? Now it all comes down to your disposition, your personality, your experience, and your level of exposure. All of that is going to play a determinant role in choosing which one you are going to do, either a coaching program or a mentorship program. Note, whichever one you go is completely dependent, like I said, on your personality. If you are the type of person that do not have the patience of holding somebody by the hand and doing a template and doing step by step how they can progress, blow, as the word that is often used in non-conventional English, when you say somebody blow, like somebody becomes famous, you get. So, and you're like, oh, okay, and you are not that kind of person. You do not have that kind of patience. You are the kind of person that you rather just tell the person, do this, do that, and the person should figure it out. Then a mentor is best suited for you. Mentorship program is best suited for you. But if you're the kind of person that like to take your time to explain, you will break it down. You say step 1, do this. Then when you do this, do this. Step 2, do this. Then you do this. Step 3, do this. And then you would not even take the pain to follow up and do all of it. If you're that kind of person, then coaching is your calling. You're just wasting talent. You should start maximizing those talents and making the best of it. I'm sure you will do very well when you do that. Now you can read through. I don't want to read the slide. I'm just giving you high level strategies. Then you can read and follow through and see which one works for you. All right. So now the next question: how do you benefit from My Sparklight? Or how does My Sparklight help you? Why should you even implement all of these things that we've talked about on My Sparklight? Why should you even do it on My Sparklight? You can have as well go to Facebook or go to Instagram or go to Twitter or go to after all those spaces have big. They are big. They can make that happen. You see, My Sparklight is a mentorship platform, and it's not just a mentorship platform, it's a mentorship social network. So which means that we are all about helping people. We are looking forward to building the next generations of leaders. And we know that leaders are not born. Leaders are trained. Leaders are made. Leaders are nurtured. So for somebody to achieve that level of leadership, somebody somewhere has to make that happen. And that is what we are interested in. We are looking at a space where we can have borderless coaching, where somebody in America is coaching somebody in Angola, somebody in Nigeria can train somebody in Tanzania, someone in Tanzania can train somebody in Rwanda, someone in America or UK can train somebody in any part of the country. It really doesn't matter, except for local scenarios or use cases in terms of demography based or environmental based. Really, there's no scope to how that will play off compared to before or the other existing platform. If you don't know someone, the person cannot train you. So the person has to know you or have to be referred by somebody that knows him and knows you. So there's a lot of networking and a lot of contact you have to make and meet and have to be able to make that happen. But on My Sparklight, we are trying to say that we want to bridge that. We want to create a space where people can help people. You know something I don't know it. You can teach me in what I don't know to help me achieve the dream that I want to achieve and live the dream life. So what and how does this help? How does this how does this contribute to your mentorship forum? Why not go elsewhere? So one of the first thing is this. My Sparklight is a young startup, so which means that as the platform grows, your mentorship program equally grows, which means you grow and scale with the platform itself. You understand? So the more users sign up, the more visibility you get, versus other existing platforms where visibility is hard because you are contesting and competing with millions of other people who are already established and more established than yourself. So the chances of being visible or being known is very slim. Now that's that about that. Then webinar. In my Sparklight, we have crafted, now I invented 3 different models, and out of that 3 different models, one of those models is called BSGM, Business Survival Growth Model Framework. You can Google it. Just Google it. You read about it. You see I've written management articles, management article of publications on it, so you can probably read about it to understand it and have a mental picture of how that plays off. Now, we have taken pain to study the Fortune 500 companies, and I took that pain to say, okay, what makes Fortune 500 companies tick? Why are they so successful? And the average Nigerian or the average black person or the average young guy struggles to even become averagely successful, not to talk of very successful. Or some even don't even smell the success S. They don't even smell the S part of the success in the first place, let alone the whole thing. You understand? They just struggle all their life, and at the end of the day, they quit and give up. We are saying that we are going to show you how those Fortune 500 companies did it, how they achieved it. So we've taken the pain to study the parameters, the different business variables, the different points of what makes a business successful. And like you know, for every business to grow, every business must first learn to survive. When you are able to survive as a business, then you can and will grow. But when you don't learn to survive as a business, it's just a matter of time before you die off and go to the grave. And there are a lot of factors that make a business or a person run out of business faster than he can say Jack Robinson. And a lot of factors. I don't want to start itemizing those factors in this video. But the idea is this. We are saying that we have studied the successful companies, the billion-dollar companies, and we've understood the roadmap on how to get there. And we are going there. And we are saying that we want to carry as many mentors as possible, as many leaders as possible, as many people who also have the same dream to join the Fortune 500 companies, to join to become the next unicorn. We are on that journey to become that next unicorn. And we want to help you get to that unicorn status too. So as we are moving, you are moving with us. As your mentorship forum or mentorship program is growing, you are also growing with us. So you are having a platform that is working with you to help you see you succeed. And that is something that is priceless, something you can't catch anywhere. Now, it is not just about just a webinar. There are many webinars out there, but you don't get a webinar that trains you on how to become the next Fortune 500 companies. Yes, we are not there yet, but we are going to get there. And that is why you need to start working with us today so that you can get there. Now, this is what makes us different. And this is why when you set up your mentorship forum or mentorship program on my Sparklight, you are sure that you are going to enjoy that benefit of the webinar, which is training you and teaching you the different variables and how you can maximize the different business elements or different business parameters that can position you as the next successful business, regardless of whether it's a mentorship forum or a mentorship program. It really doesn't matter. It's just a function of strategy, tactics, and business structure. Once you put all that in place, growth is the list of what you should worry about. Now, the next thing that we are offering is we are offering creatives. Now, you should know that all of these things are not free. Now, as a free user, you get to sign up, you get to set up your mentorship forum, do all the things you want to do. But if you want any of this, if you want creatives now these creatives are going to be designed to help you with your mentorship forum, to give you a way to say you can advertise your mentorship forum on social media. So depending on which plan you purchase, you'll be getting creative at least be getting one every month, like one creatives per month. You're not going to get more than a single creative. And this is just a way of saying we're supporting you, we're encouraging you to go out there and succeed and be the best versions of yourself and help the next person, become a change agent to help that next person succeed. And then you also have last but not the least, features. You get advanced features and you get premium features in addition that you can use in coaching, nurturing, and training your mentees. So this is the finality. What is the basis of coaching and mentorship? Value. Offer value, help people reach their goals, and making money is just going to be a tip of the iceberg. Thank you. Now, if you want to follow up with me, if you want to talk more with me, you want to have a conversation with me about maybe you're a mentor, you want to join this mentorship movement, because we are starting this movement to build one of the biggest, if not the biggest, successful mentorship forum in the world. So we're looking at 2 million successful mentors who would become millionaires over the course of 10 years. And we are hoping that when you work with us, maybe you might just be among those successful mentors. So if you want to follow us, you want to get started, you want to join us to build this future that we are working towards to make it happen, you can follow me on my Sparklight. Just sign up on my Sparklight, follow me. My name on my Sparklight is this. Just search for this on my Sparklight, and we can move from there and move further. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you all as we start this journey into a better tomorrow. Thank you. Cheers.